Hey folks, Jeff Brown here, Merchandising Director, Best Cigar Prices, here with our good friend, Rene Castaneda, President of Villiger Cigars USA. And folks, today we're here just to give you a quick education about Villiger Cigars. We're going to talk about this past year, 2018, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen hopefully in the near future and into 2019 as well. But first, let me tell you about Rene. There's a lot of things that I could tell you about Rene that probably wouldn't be appropriate for this for this medium, but suffice it to say, Rene's been around since the late 90s, right in the middle of the tobacco boom. He's held many positions in the cigar industry, but most recently, in 2 years ago, 2016, Rene was made president, Mr. Senor Presidente, president of Villiger Cigars, and basically in his first 2 years, he launched the Flor de Inclán, which was a 93 rated number 10 cigar of the year last year, correct?
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, Rene has a lot of good things to talk about with respect to Villiger Cigars. You may or may not be familiar with it, but I want Rene just to talk for just a second about Villiger and the size of this company. You wouldn't believe it when he tells you certain things, but Rene, talk to us about Villiger.
Man, there is a lot to be talked about Villiger. Villiger was established 130 years ago. It was started in Switzerland by the Villiger family, and it's still a family-owned company. Villiger is one of the largest producers of machine-made cigars. We have factories for machine-made cigars, one in Switzerland, 2 in Germany, and 1 in Indonesia. We are also, besides having the machine-made cigars, we're the distributors of the Habanos products for the German-speaking countries. So we distribute Habanos for Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Poland, Hungary, and it has been for the last at least 25 years. Besides the machine-made and the Cuban cigars.
That's the Cubans. I mean, you understand, this guy has access to Cubans. I'm just throwing that out there.
We have the handmade division, premium handmade cigars, and for those we have partners. We only have one factory that is in Brazil, where we make all our Brazilian cigars. But we have partners in the Dominican Republic and in Nicaragua for our handmade cigars. The most known of our products is the Villiger La Flor de Inclán, which was selected as the number 10 cigar of the year by Cigar Aficionado in 2017. This was an old Cuban brand that we decided to relaunch last year and present it exclusively to the US market. Fortunately for us, the people has accepted the product very well. It's a medium body, very tasty, rich and flavorful cigar. And this year we launched the product for the European market. Usually the standards for our company is that most of the products starts in Europe and then we'll bring it to the US. La Flor de Inclán was a product that was developed and created for the US market, and this year we launched it for the European markets, and it has been well received.
What he's not telling you too, okay, here's something impressive. Here's a stat for you. 5th largest tobacco company in the world, Villiger.
Yes, we're the 5th largest tobacco company in the world. This year we made 1.5 billion cigars. We sold 1.5 billion cigars. So that makes us one of the biggest players in the cigar world. In the US, we're relatively new, and we're growing. We want to make sure that the people know us for our handmade, for the machine-made, and even our pipe tobacco. We have 2 brands of pipe tobacco, one being a Villiger pipe tobacco, and the other one, the New Minster, pipe tobacco.
Well, you can certainly find the machine-made and the premium here. You won't find the pipe tobacco because we're going out of that business, but we'll talk about that another day. We're not doing that anymore. As of January, we're going to be out of that business, but that's beside the point. So,
but let me tell you, sorry to interrupt, let me tell you a little bit about our machine made. It's 100% premium tobacco from all part of the world. One thing that Mr. Villiger always keep in mind is to bring the best tobaccos from all over the world. Like if you take the Villiger export, you have tobacco from Italy, from Nicaragua, from Dominican, And we use wrappers from Brazil, we use wrappers from Sumatra, and Maduro from Mexico. So we're always looking for the best tobaccos, and as you can imagine, we need to buy large amounts of tobacco to keep up with the production of 1.5 billion cigars. Besides that, we're the largest buyer of Cuban tobacco. Remember, some of our products that we sell out of the US use Cuban tobacco. So from the Cuban tobacco production, of course, Habanos consume like 70% of their production, the other 30% comes to Villiger.
That's impressive, ladies and gentlemen. Very impressive indeed. So look, if you haven't had a chance to get yourself a Villiger cigar, if you're looking for something quick, 10, 15 minute smoke, look at all the machine-made stuff that they have. We've got obviously the exports, which are by far the best seller. We carry a lot of different flavors from Villiger.
We have the Branif, that is also a very traditional cigar, where we use a Mexican wrapper. It's more like a charutos type of cigar, a chirruts type of cigar. It's handmade, it's machine made, but 100% premium tobacco. There is no paper, there is no homogenized tobacco on it. 100% tobacco that we use in all of our machine made products.
And if you're looking for, if you have some time on your hand, the Villiger Premium line, great sticks. The man is obviously knows what he's doing because he's been doing it forever. And you don't become president of something if you're a little bit wishy-washy and not sure what's going on. So Rene knows factories. He's been around to every darn factory in the world. The man knows about premium cigars. And I'm telling you, Villiger's got some great stuff currently. And for 2019, maybe Rene will let us in on some secrets of what he's got going on. What's going on next year, my man?
Before we get into that one, I'll tell you a little bit more about the handmade cigars.
Go.
So we have our exclusive factory in the Dominican Republic. It's the only handmade factory in Santo Domingo. If you're familiar with tobacco production, most of the factories are in Santiago, Dominican Republic. We're the only factory in Santo Domingo. This factory makes cigars exclusively for Villiger. Is the Haban Cigar Factory. We make La Flor de Inclán over there. And in Nicaragua, we have as a partner Joya de Nicaragua, where we make the Villiger Sandoro, the one that we're smoking, and Villiger La Vencedora, that was selected number 8 in Cigar Journal this year. It was announced just about a week ago as the number 8 cigar of the year. That's our fullest body of our selection right now. But going to the 2019, we have a couple of new things. The first one, we're gonna launch a limited edition of La Flor de Inclán, taking it from the medium body to a step up in the strength, more closer to full body. We want to work just in a couple of sizes in the Robusto and the Toro for that one, and we're expecting to be in the market by April of 2019.
You heard it here first.
And the other part that we are working is we have a traditional brand called Villiger 1888 that we sell globally, but we want to make a regional edition for the US, so to adjust the profile of the cigar to the US consumer. We're getting into a more body, a more complex smoke, so that way people experience a better cigar, because the other one is more on the milder side, to be in compliance with all the palates and to please all the palates worldwide. So we will have the limited edition of the Flor de Inclán and the regional edition, the US regional edition of the Villiger 1888 for 2019.
Wow, big news. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is a quick, brief introduction and a little bit of history about the Villiger brand. I want to thank Rene for stopping by today and giving us just a few minutes out of his time. The man is obviously busy. So
one thing, please, before we leave.
I'm not going anywhere.
I want you to see our portfolio of products from a different point of view. We make machine made when you are limited in time to smoke. It's a premium smoke. The only reason that they're made by machine is because they're too small. But all premium tobacco, if your time is limited to up to 15 minutes, you go for Villiger machine made. But if you have the time, 45 minutes, an hour, you go for our handmade cigars.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, Rene, thank you much, sir, for coming by. Always a pleasure to see you, hermano. Folks, again, jump on it. If you get a chance, support Villiger. They're doing great things. They're making great cigars. Thank you.
Thank you.